HX850i and welcome back to another episode of the PC build series where each month I purchase items to go towards a new PC that I will build at the end of this series. So what we're looking at today is the power supply, which is the critical part of the PC. It's the item you never want to break because it literally keeps everything powered and without it nothing would work. So what we're looking at today is the HX850i by Corsair, which is my new power supply, and it is lovely blue and black, which is absolutely awesome because it fits in with the whole build. It also features genuine Japanese 105 degree capacitors, as well as an 80 plus platinum certification on it, which is absolutely awesome as well. It means its efficiency is ridiculously good. And it also features a low fan noise sort of mode where basically the fan doesn't spin up until it's under extremely heavy loads, which means that overall it's going to be 10 times quieter than your standard power supply, which basically my power supply at the moment just constantly spins and it's very annoying and is currently getting quite noisy. So hopefully with this in the new PC everything will be hunky-dory and I will be great. So I think without further ado we'll get a close-up and we'll actually delve into the box and see what's in here. Okay, so this is the box, and again it's blue and black like the power supply is, and it just looks really cool to me because, again, as I keep saying, it's blue and black my build, and this was the perfect choice because it had all the features on, it was a decent price and it was the right colours. So I don't have to do any modification to this, which I was willing to do with other power supplies, and it's just perfect really. It just really suits everything I need. Now it does feature a whole lot of cables, which, as for any of you that have watched the previous videos on all the other stuff, I've purchased a braided cable pack which is just black, and basically I'm going to be swapping out all these cables and not using any of them, so I'm going to have a spare bag of them left over, but it's always good to have spares, to be honest. I've still got quite a few spares from the last power supply that I've got, but yeah, so let's flip it around to the back, which just shows you a couple of graphs and whatever and some bits of information on the power supply itself. And it is very good on efficiency and whatnot. I did actually see OC UK, I think it is, he did a test on the 1000 watt version of this, because there's a 1200, a 1000, an 850 and a 750, and they all end with an I. And basically he managed, I think he managed to get about 96 or 90, I think it was about 96% efficiency out of the 1000 watt, which is pretty ridiculously good. So with a power supply like this, you're going to get guaranteed efficiency out of them, and most of them are becoming very good as well. I'm not saying that any other brands are crap, I'm just saying that Corsair are on the right tracks to delivering everything we want to need in a PC, being as every other component I've bought is Corsair at the moment. So let's crack into the box. Now I've already gone through the box just to have a look at what the hell is in here, just to make sure I'm right in what I'm saying. So there may be a few bags missing because I've just literally got rid of them, but what you got to do is just basically shuffle it out of the box because it is quite an awkward box. It's one of those slide ones which Corsair love to pieces. We'll just put the box on the floor, and what we now have is a lovely box in a box. Basically you have a bit of a tape here, just take that off, get rid of it, and then you just open it up and then you're greeted with everything you need to know and want to see. We have the warranty guide, which just tells you what to do if you happen to bugger up anywhere or break it, or if it doesn't work properly. We then have a book about all the different connections, which I may actually use because I'm not sure on the Corsair link at the moment. I'm sure it's probably really easy plug and play, but I haven't used it yet, so of course that is going to be something. We then also have the important safety information, like don't eat it, don't stick your finger in it when it's on, just bog standard crap really. And then some of this silica gel. Now they say not to eat this, but I've always been curious. I mean, don't eat it. Don't eat it. I'm just being very sarky today. So what we have is just a standard 3-pin plug. This will be different for different countries obviously. So we've got standard 3-pin plug with a 3-pin connector on the other end for the power, which goes into the back. Then we have got some very nice foam that I really like Corsair for, because they always put the really nice foam in and none of that styrofoamy crap, because styrofoam is just not quality, it's just terrible. So it's very nice foam which will serve no other purpose besides making me happy. But what we have is we actually have a tiny little bag, and in here we have a sticker that says powered by Corsair, which of course will not be going on my case. We then also have some cable ties and some screws for, of course, fitting the power supply into your case. So that's nice of them to include the things you actually need, which is good. The cable ties might come in handy because I actually ran out of my small cable ties the other day and I have to pick up some more. There is currently a cat. That is not my cat. Why is there a cat here? There is genuinely a cat right there. Sorry guys, there is a cat on my back garden. It's not even my cat. Anyway, so what we're looking at is we've then got the bag which has the power supply in, and then we also have a bag which is very nice to be honest. This bag is very, very nice with the Corsair logo on the bottom, of course. It won't be the same without that. Then, if you rip the living crap out of it, we have a bunch of cables, which these are, as you can smell, I wish you have smell-o-vision, but seriously, you can smell these, and they are just the bog standard Corsair cables, which is nice for them to include everything you need. But again, I'm not going to be using these because they feel a little bit, they're just like the plastic ones. They're just, you know, they're just very cheap, to be honest. They're just bog standard cables you can pick up. But I've got my braided ones, which of course are singular connections, which means I can connect things up individually and make it look as pretty as possible. So then what we have is we have this micro USB to, I think it's a 4-pin or something like that. It's basically that connection, whatever that connection is. I'm not really savvy on these things, but either way, we've got that connection, which basically I believe plugs into the motherboard, or that'll plug into your Corsair mini commander, and then it will control everything via the Corsair link. So that will go into the back end of your power supply, and that will go into wherever it needs to go into, whether into the commander or into your motherboard, and it will just control everything from there. And that will be your fan speeds and stuff like that. So if the fan kicks up and gets too hot, it'll turn on the fan, and then if it cools down, it'll turn it off. And it's very good like that, to be honest. And we just have, again, lots of bog standard cables, including a 24-pin, which of course powers the motherboard. So that's a very nice thing for them to include. Again, not really going to use it, but I might find a use for the bag and put the cables in a bigger box somewhere. Okay, so before my battery died, I was just about to show you this lovely bag. And basically what's in this lovely, very like a felty sort of feeling Corsair bag, is your power supply. Now, I like the fact that they do this and put it in a bag, but I'm not going to be taking my power supply out for any real reason. So I don't particularly see why I need a bag. But then I thought I could always put my old power supply in that bag and sort of store it away if I wanted to. But my old PC is being sold. So basically you've got your power supply, which is a very, very nice power supply. I'm just zooming in now, so you'll probably hear my voice a bit better now. But basically it's a very, very nice looking power supply. It's got this lovely HX850i on the side, and then that is of course on the opposite side, upside down obviously. And yeah, so it features a very nice big fan in the middle, 140mm, and it's just a very, very nice item, to be honest. And it does actually have a little label on the back, and I'll show you in a sec. And it says silent operation at low to moderate loads. In this mode, the fan will not spin. So it actually tells you that if the fan doesn't spin, it's not broken. So that's pretty cool. So what we've got here is we have the connections on the outside. So you just got your on and off switch, as well as your connection for the mains. Then if we turn it round, we then have our 3 rails, and then we also have the micro USB, which is just here. We then have a 4-pin connector, which I think you can go 4 to 4 or something like that, or that weird connector to the weird connector. Again, I'm not really savvy on that sort of stuff, but either way, I think you can go directly from this to the motherboard with the same ended cable. Then we also have the fan test button, which is this one here. It makes a click when when you press it, and basically that just spins the fan up when you actually plug it in and manage to get it going. So that is really it, guys. It's just a power supply. It's a box that takes all the power, disperses it out, and that's basically it. I can't really tell you a lot more about it because, of course, I'm a massive noob. So if you do want to see any more about this, I'll leave some links in the description to some of the places where you can look at it being tested. Okay, so that is basically my unbox, and not really a review, but it's just purely an unbox to see what the hell is in this power supply. And again, the main reasons I wanted to get this were because of its performance, its efficiency, and just general looks, as well as its noise level. Because again, my old power supply is very, very terrible at the moment. It seems to be making noises every so often, and they do become quite irritable. And it shouldn't probably do that, but again, it's about 4 or 5 years old now, so it's probably getting on a little bit. So yeah, if this one's got a 7-year guarantee, then that's, you know, I'm pushing the age limit really on my old power supply, so that's probably why it's sort of starting to conk out. And I think I've timed this pretty well, to be honest. Now, I just wanted to talk about a few other things really, because the there's really 3 more things I need to get before I can get this build up and running. I've of course got my processor, which is an i5-6600K, which is basically a similar card to what I've currently got, just a bit more powerful because I've got an i5 in the old one. i7s are good, yes, but they're very, very expensive, especially if you want an overclocked one or an overclockable one, which is the K version. So I can't really go for an i7, but i5s will do the job and they do it very, very well. So I'll stick with the i5 and overclock the crap out of it. But what we then also have is the motherboard, which I want to get as well, which I'm looking at an Azedia board at the moment, which is roughly about £290, so it's quite a lot of money to be throwing at something, but I want a good motherboard and it seems like something that can last, as well as has a few really cool features on that will make this build a bit nicer and a bit more pretty, as well as, again, last a bit longer. And then the last real thing is an SSD, because I want to install, there's 2 things with that really. There's an SSD as well as my retail copy of Windows 10, but I don't really class that as a thing, it's purely hardware for me at the moment. But yeah, so I need an SSD, which I'm looking at a Samsung 850 EVO, which I, again, probably won't do a video of, or probably do very little of a video on it, just showing you that I've got it. But I'm looking at one of them. Basically I want to have a 1TB that basically has my operating system on and a choice few games that say take up a lot of space and take up a lot of loading time, so like Fallout 4, some of the Call of Duties, Borderlands, you know, stuff, games that are really quite big and again have quite large loading times. I want the games to be a bit quicker, and of course I'll put Space Engineers on there and try and hope that it gets quicker at loading. But that's basically what I'm going to try and aim to do with that. And again, I want like a HDD just as like a 2TB, which I've already got, that I'm basically just going to flash, a format, and I'm literally just going to use that as a drive that I use as kind of like a slave, where I just put all my items onto it that I don't really want on the SSD. So like all my video editing stuff, the video editing software, it can all go on there and just be separate from everything else. So I've got gaming on the one and my operating system and other programs like AutoCAD as well and stuff like that just on another card. But other than that, this has been the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the look at the HX850i, and yeah, if you have enjoyed, then please like, and of course subscribe for more. If you know more than me, feel free to gloat about it in the comment section and tell me things that you don't think I know about this power supply. And again, power supplies and SSDs I'm not really up to scratch on. It's just a power supply to me. I just plug it in and just let it, you know, let it do its business. But yeah, so if you guys have enjoyed, please like, and of course subscribe for more. Again, comment if you want me to try and answer some questions, or if you have any more information for me about this power supply. And I will see you guys later. Peace!